All right, Chapter 7. All right, Section 7.1 is finding a place to live. We have a few definitions here. A tenant. This is the individual renting or paying rent for a place to live. Landlord, the individual who owns the property and rents it out. Lease. This is a written agreement between the landlord and the tenant. This details the amount of money you pay and the time frame. And evicted. This is removing a tenant from violating the lease terms. Security deposit, money given to landlords from the tenant as a protection in the event the tenant causes damage to the rented property. Problem number 1, use the interval 25% to 30% to find the monetary range that is recommended for the monthly housing budget in each situation. Round to the nearest dollar. Mark makes $86,000 per year. So 25% of $86,000 is $21,500. 30% of $86,000 is $25,800. Okay, you're going to take each number, the $21,500, divided by 12, subtract it from $25,800 divided by 12. Okay, and that'll give you a monetary amount. So the first at 25% would be $1,792 minus 30% at $2,150. Okay, it's asking you to use the monetary range, so he can spend somewhere between $1,792 and $2,150 on rent. Part B, Linda makes $7,000 per month. So you're going to take $1,750 and subtract $2,100. So $17,500 is 25%, and $2,100 is 30%. Okay, you just take basically your 7,000 and multiply it by 0.25 and your 7,000 and multiply it by 0.30, and that'll give you your range. So she can pay anywhere between $1,750 and $2,100 per month. Megan makes $1,500 per week. Okay, so you're going to take your $1,500 times 52 weeks, gives you $78,000 per year, and then take $78,000 divided by 12 to find out how much per month. So this $6,500 is per month. Okay, so you're going to take your $6,500 times 0.25, and you're going to take your $6,500 times 0.30, and that'll give you your range. So she can pay anywhere between $625 and $1,950 per month. Number 2, Abe makes $18.50 per hour. He works 35 hours a week. He pays 23% of his gross earnings in federal and state taxes and saves 5% of his monthly gross income. He is considering renting an apartment that will cost $1,500 per month. Is the monthly rental fee with a recommended 25% to 30% housing expense range? So $18.50 per week, so 18.50 times 37, okay, because 37 hours per week, gives you $684.50 per week. Okay, now you take your $684.50 per week and multiply that by 52 weeks in a year, and we divide it by 12 to find out per month. So times 52 weeks per year divided by 12, because we're trying to find out how much per month. So per month, Abe makes $2,966.17 per month. Okay, you're going to take that $2,966.17, multiply it by 25%, gives you $741.54, and multiply by 30% gives you $889.85. Okay, can he afford $1,500 per month? The answer would be no. Part B, based upon his expenses, can he make monthly payments? Okay, he can make monthly payments, but it's not recommended because he will still have only about, if you take your $2135.64 and you subtract off your rent, okay, it gives you only $635.64 for all other expenses. All right, so that's really not enough to make it work. Number 3, Melania has a gross biweekly income of $2,200. She pays 18% in federal and state taxes, puts aside 10% for her income to pay off school loan, and puts 5% of her income aside for savings. She is considering an apartment that rents for $1,200 per month. Is this between the 25 to 30% range? So you take your $2,200 bi-weekly, so that's 26 pays. okay, because every 2 weeks is 26 pays. Divide it by 12 to find out how per month. Okay, gives you $4,766.67 per month. Okay, then you got to find your 25 and your 35%. So your 25% is $1191.67, and your 30% is $1430. Okay, can she afford that $1,200? That's in between that range, so the answer would be yes. Okay, then part B, based on her expenses. Okay, can she make monthly payments? All right, so you're going to take your $4766.67 per month. That's how much she makes per month. And you're going to multiply that by 0.67. Now this 0.67, this comes from, you have 18% going to taxes, you have 10% going to student loans, and you have 5% going to savings account. So that's 33%. So 33% of that is already taken. Okay, so 100% of your pay minus the 33% gives you the 67%. So basically she has 67% left over after she pays that stuff. Okay, that'll give you a final number of $3,193.67 minus your $1,200 rent gives you a leftover amount of $1,993.67. Okay, so that's how much she has left over. So she has enough to pay everything. Number 4, Jane received these two estimates from a moving company. Write and solve a system of equations to determine the hourly loading and unloading fee and the mileage charge. So situation A, he hires 5 helpers to load and unload the truck and travels 80 miles back on back roads for a total cost of $780. B, 6 helpers to load and unload 20 miles on the trip for a faster way for $960. Okay, so you're going to take 5 helpers is 5x, so x is the helpers, plus 80y, y is the miles, equals $780. Part B is 6 helpers, so 6x plus 100y, plus 20y, okay, which adds 20 miles to the trip. So you're going to take your 80 plus 20, that gives you 100y. Okay, that's where that comes in. Okay, 100 per y equals 960. So this is a system of equations where we have the x's lined up, the y's lined up, equal signs lined up, and numbers lined up. So you should remember that back from math 1, 2, or 3. Okay, now the idea here is you want to pick the x's or the y's to cancel out. So I'm going to pick the x's. You need to get a similar number in front of it. So the first common number between 5 and 6 would be 30. Okay, so I'm looking for that 30. Okay, what do I have to multiply 5 by to get 30? Well, that's 6. You're going to multiply the entire thing by 6. And what do I have to multiply the 6 by and the 6x to get 30? Well, that's 5. So you're going to multiply the entire thing by 5. So when you multiply this out, 6 times 5x gives you 30x. 6 times 80y gives you 480y. 6 times 780 gives you 4680. Here's your new equation right here. Okay, then your second equation is right here. 5 times 6x is 30x. 5 times 100y is 500y. And 5 times 960 is 480. So you have your two equations. Now you notice in front of the x's here, you have a similar number. You have 30x in front of both of them. That's actually the same number. Similar means they could be a positive or negative or the same. Now how do I cancel out the x's? Well, I have 30x and 30x. The only way to cancel those out is to subtract them. So you're going to subtract everything. 30x minus 30x, that cancels out. 480y minus 500y gives you negative 20y. And 46080 minus 4800 gives you negative 120y. Now just solve for your y. You're going to divide by negative 20 on both sides. Y equals 6. Then take that y equals 6 and you're going to plug it back into one of your original equations for y. So wherever you see a y, you're going to plug a 6 in there. So I'm going to plug it into this one right here. So I'm going to put a 6 in for the y. Okay, so you're left with 5x plus 80 times 6 is 480. minus 7 or equals 780. All right. Subtract 480 on both sides. You're left with 5x equals 300. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 60. So that means it's going to be $60 per hour for helping, and it's going to be $6 per mile for your Y. All right, question 5 we are not going to do. Okay. Question 6 we are not going to do. We are going to do the last one, which is number 7. We move you charges for moving according to the rate schedule shown. Nikki is moving a distance 150 miles and needs 7 hours of loading, unloading, and 5 hours of packing, unpacking. What will her moving cost be if the service also charges 8% tax on the total? So here we have 85 hours or $85 per hour for loading, unloading, 70 per hour for packing, unpacking. Okay. So she needs 7 hours, okay, for loading, unloading, so $85 times 7, plus she needs 5 hours of packing, unpacking, so plus $70 times 5, plus 150 miles, okay, times 5. Okay, it's going to take her 5 hours. Okay, $5 per hour for your mile. So you add all those up, it gives you $16.95, and you're going to multiply that by 1.08. The reason why it's 1.08 is you start with 100%. Okay, that's $16.95. Okay, but you're adding on 8% tax, so plus 8% tax. Okay, gives you 108%. Okay, and when you move it 2 places to the left, you're going to get 1.08. So if you take your $16.95 and multiply it by 1.08, that gives you a final cost of $1830.60. And that's your final answer. Okay. You can find out the tax separately by multiplying it by 0.08, but then you have to take one more step and add it to the $16.95. This way, if you just do 1.08, it's all in one step. So either way is fine by me. I want you to get your final answer at the end. And that is it for section 7.1.